So, I had an interesting experience today. Can't say that it's an isolated experience, because it happens every now and then. But I was in the restroom, and I was washing my hands, and this lady came in, and then she looked at me, and then she looked at the sign on the door, and then she looked at me, and then she looked at the sign on the door. Apparently, she couldn't tell that I was female. Even after I walked by her, I said, "Pardon me," in like an uber high voice. This is not an isolated incident. This happens every now and then, especially when I'm wearing my more masculine clothing. Happens a lot in the winter, actually. But like today, I was wearing my suit trousers, and I was also wearing just a button-up shirt, which kind of hid my hourglass figure. You couldn't really see my waist, so I guess I could understand how this person might have just had seen me from the back, not seen my face because I have a very feminine face, and then just kind of figured that I was male. But it's half insulting, kind of, and at times it's just like, okay, for crying out loud, my gender expression is not exactly particularly commonly female. I do have a masculine gender expression, somewhat. Especially depending on the clothes that I'm wearing. But so what? If somebody's in the women's restroom, you generally assume that they're female. And if they're in the men's room, you generally assume that they're male. Because why would somebody go into a public restroom and purposely use the wrong one? It just, it could have been that because this person appeared to be of another culture. She was wearing a headscarf, so she might have, it could have been that that the cultural expression of women in their culture was different than a Westerner's, and she could have been just surprised by it. But the thing is that occasionally it happens with Western women too. There was a time when I was in the restroom and somebody walked in and then they walked out. Just because I have a masculine gender expression. And at times I find it hilarious, but other times it's just like, oh, for crying out loud, get over yourself and widen your view of gender. Because, you know, I'm a woman. I identify as a woman. Yes, I like masculine clothing because it fits me better. It looks better on me. But I am a woman who identifies as a woman. I'm a female-bodied person who identifies as a woman. Just as there are male-identified people who identify as men. And gender is what you are up here, not what's in your shorts. What we know as masculine, what we know as feminine, is a cultural construction. Now, some of that cultural construction is based on division of labor, like jobs. If you take us back to our hunter-gatherer days, the guys going off and hunting and the women staying to take care of the babies. A lot of that boils down to division of labor, because it's a whole lot easier for somebody who doesn't have an infant on their hip sucking on their titty to... It's a whole lot easier for a person who does not have a baby on their hip sucking on their boob to go off and hunt than it is for a person who has a baby sucking on their boob to go off and shoot a deer or something. Some of that stuff boiled down to division of labor. But here in 2012, we know so much more about gender. We understand it a lot more. And we are in a world where stay-at-home dads are becoming more and more common. We are in a world where a woman can have a career and can have a family, as long as she gets the proper support from her partner. And there are so many more men out there who want to be stay-at-home dads. So leave me comments if you've ever experienced this, or you have anything to say about gender. and the creativity of it, and the funness of it, and sometimes the frustrations of it. Peace out, YouTubes.